Treasure, 33, Hansbury, and 34, Paul Free. Now folks, from Moycullen, the home team here, first of all, number 4, Romeo Sullivan, number 5, James Lyons, number 6, from the United States, Grant Olson, number 7, from Moycullen, James Kinnair, number 9, and so number 8, Kevin Nugent, number 9, the captain, Owen Kelly, number 10, Joe Drummond, number 11, Joe Morris, the 2 Joes, number 12, Kyle Cunningham, number 13, Dylan Cunningham, number 14, Ibret Tyler, and finally number 15, and not last, Josh Mousley. The running post folks, and on the bench, sorry, the coaches today are John Cunningham and Gerald Lyons for ourselves, and excuse me, Sonny Curran for the Maree.
Welcome to NUIG Sports Arena here for the Galway Derby Super League matchup of Moycullen versus NUIG Maree. Starting lineup for Moycullen: Owen Kelly, Kyle Cunningham, Joe Tommen, Grant Olsen and Josh Marvesley. And over on the NUIG side they got Owen Rockall, John Burke, Jaron Lucas, Lovray Terverdic and DeAndre Jackson. We're nearly ready to get going here. It's the third last game of the season for Moycullen. Double home game next weekend, Saturday and Sunday, and that will be the end of the campaign. But all eyes right now on the Galway Derby and Owen Rockall with the ball for NUIG. Early pass in there to Luka Kralic. Luka with a good hook shot too to start off things for NUIG, and it's Owen Rockall picking up Owen Kelly. These two met all the way up through underage. Fantastic battles throughout, and another one here again as Owen kicks it out to Kyle Cunningham. Catch and shoot, no hesitation, just off from Kyle, and a good battle for the rebound from Josh. Good effort, but can't grab it in on that occasion, and it will be an NUIG ball going the opposite direction. And the American DeAndre Jackson with a little bit of flair through the legs back to Owen Rockall, who sets up the offense for the nominal visitors on the day. It is a Moycullen home game, even though we are, of course, in NUIG Sports Arena. The two met in the first game of the season also, and on that occasion it was just a single basket between the sides. Grant Olsen got himself open with a great look on the buzzer, just short, and it was NUIG who won it. We'll see if we can get as exciting a game today. And it's NUIG with a good start, and DeAndre Jackson there, who goes to the basket strong, manages to draw a foul off Kyle Cunningham, and he'll be going to the line for 2 free throw shots. First foul on Kyle. While we've got the game started here, just a quick word of thank you to our sponsors, Electric Skyline, who are the game sponsors, and a special game sponsor today, Defy Sports Apparel. The new Moycullen Basketball Club shop is being launched today, and the guys from Defy are here with some sample gear and getting everyone sized up. So if you can make it in for the second half and want to try on some new Defy gear, the guys will be here throughout the contest. Ball goes in now to Grant Olsen, who gets double teamed in the low block. Kicks it to Kyle, who swings it to Josh, drives to the basket and swings it out again. It's with Owen Kelly now, 7 seconds on the shot clock. Owen drives strong, good move, but can't get it to fall. And coming the other way there, it's Luka Kralic. Luka gets stopped well by Grant, but he kicks it out, and DeAndre Jackson gets the ball on the wing, left open, pops the 3, and this is a great start from NUIG. They've gone 7-0 ahead, not what Coach Sean Cunningham would have been hoping to start. Lovray Terverdic there with the 3, and he's going to be a real handful for Moycullen, the import for NUIG this year. Joe Tommen with the open look, but can't get it to fall. DeAndre Jackson coming the other way and just loses the handle at the wrong moment. Just rolls out of bounds. Bit of a strange one there from DeAndre, normally a fantastic handler of the ball. Maybe just in two minds as to what to do, loses control of the ball, and it's a Moycullen ball coming the other direction. An early substitution here for Moycullen. Jimmy Lyons coming in for Josh Marvesley. And we've got a substitution on the table here as well. Danielle O'Brien is swapping over with Barry Kinnair. Just trying to resolve a technical issue, I think, with the main game clock. So I said thank you to our table officials today, Danielle O'Brien, Barry Kinnair and Ronan Waters. And we're going to take a short break here while they try and resolve this. We'll be back to you in a minute or two. We're right back with you now. I think the issue maybe with the score that's showing here on the overall sports graph is shown as 8-0 to NUIG, but it is 7-0. Our guy Rory Gilson has it spot on for you on our scoreboard. Grant Olsen drives, kicks it out to Owen Kelly, doesn't take the shot, pumps it into Grant instead. There's only 3 on the shot clock. Grant with a nice hook shot, doesn't go. Joe Tommen crashes the board, gets it stolen off him under the ring, and Owen Kelly has a chance to go the other way from NUIG. Terdic. Kyle with a nice crossover there, and a lovely find to the trading Grant Olsen, who can't get it to go. Nice fast break from Moycullen there, ends up with Jimmy Lyons, top of the key. And Jimmy gets his reward for being unselfish. He's wide open on the baseline, maybe with too much time almost, and just totally misjudged the shot. Turns out to be an air ball. And it's gone off an NUIG Maree hand, and it's going to be an inbound for Moycullen. So some great looks for Moycullen early on, just haven't been able to convert. And they do find themselves trailing 7-0 in the early goings. The inbound play gets it to Joe Tumman. There's only 5 on the shot clock here. Kyle's going to have to try and create. He does an excellent job to get to the ring. Beautiful move from Kyle. And he gets Moycullen off and running. So NUIG Maree, not known for their defence this year, but they've been a fantastic offensive team, so hopefully we'll have a high scoring game. Moycullen, the opposite side, they've had excellent defence all year, but really struggling to put the ball in the basket. So a real clash of styles here today. Of course, NUIG Maree have had some fantastic signings this year. Lovely Turvidic, Jaron Lucas and Luka Kralic. DeAndre Jackson, 4 players who've been massive contributors for them this year, and they've done a very good job putting their team together. Can't get the ball into Joe on the post, but they swing it through Grant to the top, and he sets the screen for Owen Kelly, who gets into the top of the key and kicks it back to Joe eventually, and Joe maybe turns down the opportunity to put it in himself, and it results in a turnover. Coming the other way is Lovely Turvidic for NUIG. Puts the ball into Kralic. And some excellent defense from Joe Tumman. He stands his ground, and Kralic tries to barrel him over, and it is an offensive foul, his first of the game. Owen with a nice job bringing the ball up the court and setting it up. Oh, he maybe had Grant under the basket, didn't spot him, and now we've got 10 seconds on the shot clock. Ball on the wing with Kyle, takes the screen from Joe, nice bounce pass, and Joe lines himself up for the 2, a little bit too long. Crash from Jimmy is no good, and John Burke comes away with it for NUIG Maree. DeAndre Jackson now looks to attack Kyle, and it's a foul call on Kyle Cunningham. I would guess that might be Kyle's second, and crowd will be happy to see this man coming in here, James Kinnair. Back from the United States. He could be a great addition for the last 3 games. James, great scorer for Moycullen all the way underage, and he's going to get Kyle out of there with Kyle's 2 early fouls, which is a pity. Kyle had started really well on the offensive end, so hopefully he can stay out of foul trouble as the game goes on. And an excellent defense there from Joe Tumman again. Luka Kralic can't get the ball to go, and Grant Olsen has a chance to attack. Hits Jimmy Lyons on the baseline, who swings it back to Joe Tumman. Moycullen moving the ball well here, but not finding a huge amount of penetration. As I say that, Owen Kelly does a brilliant job finding penetration. Gets to the ring, and excellent finish at the basket. And Moycullen now have settled back into the game nicely. It's 7-4. And John Burke with the ball on the wing hits it to DeAndre Jackson. It was a lovely little drop step. That's a beautiful move. That's a beautiful move from Jackson. He gets the basket and the foul on Jimmy Lyons. We got some old school bangers coming in here. Dylan Cunningham on one side, Paul Freeman on the other side. This could make for some entertaining low block play. So 2 former teammates there, Dylan Cunningham and Paul Freeman into the game. Let's see if they match up against each other. So DeAndre Jackson misses the 1-point free throw after having scored and got the foul, and it's Owen Kelly who's coming the other way with Moycullen, takes the screen off Dylan. And Owen doing a great job getting to the basket so far. He hits it straight out to James Kinnair, who misses his first shot, and that's a second quick foul on Jimmy Lyons, chasing the offensive rebound. That'll be 2 on James. And it'll also be the 4th foul on Moycullen, so that's Moycullen in team fouls with half the quarter left to go. So that is certainly one to watch as this quarter develops. Lovely move to the basket there from Lovely Turvidic. Gets the reverse basket, and Maree with 4 quick points to answer the Moycullen run. Dylan with a lovely shot fake and a beautiful pass instant impact from the two subs there. Dylan Cunningham finds James Kinnair. And Owen Rockwell steps out of bounds. Well, they might be called NUIG Maree, but they're having trouble with the lines here in NUIG, just like every other visiting team, it seems. And Owen steps out of bounds on the sideline making his move. It'll be Moycullen coming the other way. James Kinnair now with the ball on the side into Grant Olsen. He's got a bit of a one-on-one here against Jackson, and he takes advantage. Good move from Grant, I think. Moycullen will be happy with that look, even though it didn't fall. Turvidich coming the other way for NUIG. But it'll be Owen Rockall who'll set it up, and very confidently steps off the screen and takes the three. Looked good, but just a bit short. Grant Olsen running the point on the fast break, but it's back out with James Kinnair, and eventually with Owen Kelly, who's going to set up the offense proper with 13 seconds left on the shot clock. Lovely move. Hits it to Dylan Cunningham, who drives to the basket strong. Nice little loop up, but it bounces off and out. Dylan takes the shot, and he's going to be fouled on the jumper, so with the shot clock expiring, Moycullen do well to scramble, get the ball to Dylan Cunningham. He is fouled on the jump shot, and he'll have a chance to go to the line for 2. Foul goes on John Burke of NUIG there, and John will be taking a seat along with Owen Rockall. Coming into the game is Oriol Franch and Stephen Cummins, who is a player we all know well in Galway, fabulous shooter, and one Moycullen will certainly have to keep their eye on. Dylan makes no mistake with the first. He's off to a very good start to his game. So in fact, he was actually fouled taking the three-pointer there, which I missed, so he's going to get 3 shots. Dylan, one of the better guys throughout his career, getting fouled while taking a three-point shot. But doesn't manage to take advantage of it on that occasion, but Josh marvellously does on the rebound. So Moycullen get the reward for it, and it's 11 points to 9, and after a little bit of a shaky start from Moycullen, they're right back in this game, and it's as we expected it would be in this Galway derby. Real nip and tuck, single basket between the teams. As Franch lines things up for NUIG, it's out to Cummins at the top, who hits the Roscommon native Paul Freeman. DeAndre Jackson with the 3. And he can't get it to go, and Josh marvellously just slips unfortunately off the ball, so Owen has to go back to Grant Olsen, who takes the trail three-pointer, and I think this might be an offensive foul against James Kinnair on the attack. Yes, it is. So James gets called. Yeah, so James, just trying to figure out exactly what the referees were calling there. It's a loose ball foul as opposed to an offensive foul. So by virtue of it being a loose ball foul, the fact that Moycullen are in team fouls does come into play. So Franch gets to walk the length of the court and take 2 free throw shots. Every loose ball or defensive foul from here to the end of the quarter is going to be 2 free throw shots for NUIG. An offensive foul, of course, would just be a normal out of bounds for the visitors. But he misses the second free throw, and James Kinnair gets the rebound. Grant does a good job pushing it ahead to Josh marvellously, but Josh decides to simply recycle possession. Owen drives to the basket, kicks weak side to James Kinnair, who takes 1 dribble and shoots. Oh, and nearly gets it to go. DeAndre Jackson attacking with some purpose, and he draws the foul. I think it's going to be on Josh marvellously here. Yes, it's against Josh marvellously. I think that'll be his first. But yet another set of free throws for NUIG. So NUIG haven't perhaps made the most of their trips to the free throw line so far, but DeAndre Jackson gets that one to go, and it's 13 points to 9. Oh, and they continue to struggle a little bit. I don't think Moycullen can rely on them continuing to struggle from the line, but they'll take it while it's last, and Grant Olsen gets a chance to set up the Moycullen attack into Dylan Cunningham at the high post, who swings it to James Kinnair. Over to Owen Kelly and back to Dylan with 10 seconds left in the shot clock. He calls for the screen from Grant Olsen, and nice play from Dylan, puts it into Grant, and that's really nice offense from Moycullen, very patient. Bit of experience from Dylan there on the wing, and I think himself and Owen Kelly did an excellent job of just probing around and finding the danger man that is Grant Olsen, who draws the foul. And it's going to be a substitution, and this is a straight American for an American switch here. Jaron Lucas replacing DeAndre Jackson. There's several teams in the league who have the advantage of having 2 American players. Of course, you can only have 1 non-EU player on the court at any one time, so NUIG have to swap between their Americans. So while DeAndre Jackson takes a break, his compatriot Jaron Lucas comes into the game, and he'll be marked by Owen Kelly, as we have a 2-point ball game here in the first quarter of this Basketball Ireland Men's Super League contest in the NUIG Sports Arena. And that, well, looked like a charge, but no call given there. NUIG perhaps a little bit fortunate. Turvidich gets away with it, and Moycullen converted in any case into a good fast break. It's a foul, just on the court foul. It's going to be inbound bounds for Moycullen when we come back, because there is a timeout called on the court. We'll be back with you in 1 minute's time. Welcome back to action here. So after a little bit of conversation with the table over the timeout, the referees were informed that there's team fouls on NUIG Maree as well, so Josh Marvesley gets 2 free throw shots. So we've had a plethora of fouls in this first quarter. It's made proceedings somewhat slow going, which all resulted in a very tight contest, 12-13, with the nominal visitors for the day, NUIG Maree, 1 point to the good, and they run their first possession for Turvidich here on the wing, who swings it back to the American there, and that's a lovely little jump shot there from Jaron Lucas. What a luxury it is for Charlie Crowley to be able to sub off one American and bring it in. No such breaks for Grant Olsen on the Moycullen side today. Moycullen going with just the one American, and basically after that players who've come through the underage club structure themselves. And Grant on that occasion just maybe not on the same page exactly with James Kinnair. James had been over in the States for 6 months recently, back home to Moycullen now. We're delighted to have him back in a Moycullen jersey, but maybe not quite on the same page with Grant in the early goings. This is James's first game back of this season. And Owen Kelly just getting a little bit too close to his player there, and it's a foul on Owen on Turvidich, and Turvidich is going to be going to the line for 2. As I say, Turvidich is a really fantastic player. Anyone who's been following NUIG this year will have seen the cup contest they had with UCD Maree, and Turvidich hit a spectacular game winner on the buzzer to put NUIG Maree into the semi-final. Just a glimpse of what he's capable of, and Moycullen will certainly have their hands full in trying to keep him under wraps today. He's DeAndre Jackson, obviously, you know, the American key player, but Turvidich, perhaps NUIG Maree's best offensive threat. There's Grant Olsen now for Moycullen, who swings it out to Josh Marvesley, and Josh, no hesitation, squares up, takes the shot, doesn't go, but James Kinnair, a deceptively good offensive rebounder, pulls it down, kicks out to Dylan Cunningham, who lines up one and is just off from Dylan. Stephen Cummins now brings the ball. We haven't got a chance to see much of Cummins yet from deep, but on that occasion he passes it out to Maree, who don't convert on the fast break, and it's Moycullen coming the opposite way with Owen Kelly, who spots the slight mismatch with James Kinnair inside. So James Kinnair at the line for 2. He's going to be a really interesting addition to the Moycullen team for the remaining 3 games. Said he was in America for the last number of months, and so he hasn't played with the team yet this year, but he's an absolutely fantastic scorer. He's come up trumps in some underage big games for Moycullen down through the years, and should be a real addition for the final 3 games, carrying a slight injury. But looks like he's in pretty good shape so far. As we're into the final minute of the first quarter. It's been a good game so far. NUIG Maree probably just about deserving of their 4-point lead so far. And it's good defence for Moycullen, but they leave open Stephen Cummins. And as I mentioned, he is an absolute knockdown shooter. He's been doing that for Maree through the underage ranks and now with their Super League team. And Moycullen cannot afford to give him that look. Moycullen probably going to try and hold for the final shot of the quarter here. It's coming down on just 10 seconds to go. Owen Kelly lines up the danger man Grant Olsen, who draws plenty of attention in the post, kicks it out to Josh Marversty. 4-3 goes up. A brilliant offense from Moycullen and well deserved here. Great end of the first quarter. Leaves the game tightly posed, 15 points to 20, and we will be back with you for the second quarter shortly. Welcome back. We're nearly ready to go here for the second quarter. As with every home game, of course, there's the Newark 3-point challenge. Many thanks to Newark Construction, one of our great sponsors. And if you're at a game here, you go into a free raffle with a chance to win €50 if you can just come out. All you got to do is come out, no defence, just knock down an open 3-pointer. Simple as that. Courtesy of Newark Construction. On this occasion, it was a little bit short, so no €50 being dished out here today. But thanks again to Newark for their continued sponsorship. So welcome back, no changes on the Moycullen side. I'm just scanning the NUIG team here. They look much the same as we get back underway. It's Moycullen possession, trying to eat into this 5-point NUIG lead. And first possession they run, looks like it was a high-low for Dylan and Grant, but NUIG Maree defend it well. Yeah, they threw Moycullen out of rhythm there, and Grant ends up picking up probably a smart foul to stop the fast break. I think Moycullen were perhaps looking for a high-low between Grant and Dylan on that occasion, but well defended by NUIG, who come away possession, draw a foul against Moycullen, and given the last quarter where Moycullen were in foul trouble, they won't want to have seen such a quick foul going against them here. And a little bit of misdirection being run by NUIG, and that's a fantastic pass there. Oriel French into the American off the bench, that is Jaron Lucas. Luka Tervedic used as the misdirection to the wing there on that occasion. Moycullen now, ball with Josh Marvesley on the wing. Kicks it to Dylan Cunningham at the top, who runs a little handoff screen with Owen Kelly. A little bit of theatrics there from Cummins, doesn't get him anywhere. James Kinnair has just been a little bit off so far, but Josh Marvesley, as always, just an absolute dog on the boards. Such a tough man to keep off the offensive rebounding glass. As Owen Kelly makes the most of the additional possession earned by Josh and gets a 2-point score for Moycullen. French now for NUIG, swings it over to Tervedic. Tervedic, a couple of dribbles and just pulls up for the three. It's just short, and Josh does a brilliant job boxing out. That's a lesson for any youngsters watching the game, how you box out. And Grant pulls up and a nice little jumper and a nice little 4-0 run there for Moycullen. They're back to within 3 points, 19-22. Cummins to Tervedic, certainly everything for NUIG looks to be Tervedic coming off baseline screens, and he's such a threat from three that it's got the Moycullen defense kind of scrambling a little bit, and that's left a couple of things open on the inside. I mentioned earlier that Moycullen obviously mainly exclusively relying on just players who've come through their own club, but here is one addition we have, Ayberk Talan from Turkey, and Ayberk's been a nice little pickup by John Cunningham early in the season. He's given some great minutes so far and comes in straight with some good defense, gets a hand to a ball, and James Kinnair picks up the loose stuff, and it's with Owen Kelly, who steps back confidently for a three. Good luck, but doesn't go, and Ayberk straight away, impact at both ends of the court. And he's picked up 2 points, and we're back to a 1-point ball game now. Moycullen 21, NUIG 22. Owen Rockall with the ball on the wing for NUIG, swings it to French, who looks for the back door in as far as Lucas. Well defended by Grant Olsen, who looks to push up the fast break, but nothing going, so he's going to slow it down, takes the screen from Ayberk. And Ayberk, no hesitation, takes the three. Oh, that really did look good, just short. And Lucas with the rebound for NUIG. Ball swings out to Cummins eventually. It's back to Lucas, who lovely, that's a beautiful move. Not much the defense could do about that. Weaving into the key and hits a fall away. So some quick scoring to start the second quarter after what was at times somewhat pedestrian first quarter with a lot of fouls. Some really free-flowing basketball right now. And right now it's with Ayberk Talan, who runs a little two-man game with James Kinnair, who finds his way to the post. Lovely pass out to Josh Marvesley, but that one is short, unfortunately. Checking into the game here is Kevin Nugent, who will give James Kinnair a break, and a really good first showing from James Kinnair in his first outing back in the 2021-2022 season. And it looks like there was a substitution on the NUIG side as well. John Burke has checked back into the game, and Oriol French goes to the bench. Burke straight away gets the ball at the high post, but doesn't attack on this occasion, just swings it out, and the ball eventually in as far as Lucas, and he is doing ferocious damage since being introduced, but he misses on that occasion. Talan with the rebound, and it's out to Olsen, who turns down the chance at an open shot, tries to drive into a bit of traffic, turns it over, and it's NUIG attacking the opposite way. And a funny little move there from that was Luka Kralic, who makes the basket. Ball goes into Ayberk, who fancies his chances one-on-one. Ayberk battling well here. And that's excellent defence there from Kralic. Stands his ground on a couple of occasions against a strong post-up from Ivor Talon. And NUIG Maree basically swing it out to John Burke, who takes, I think, his first shot of the game, misses the 3, and it's Owen Kelly coming the opposite direction. Game really picking up in pace here, as both teams maybe shake off the nerves of the early goings in the Galway Derby, and Owen Kelly, a man who just recently picked up a Sigerson gold medal playing centre back for the NUIG Galway footballers. On this occasion he's playing against the NUIG basketball team, and no split loyalties from him. Great too as NUIG Maree kick it out to Stephen Cummins, and he's just off with a 3-point shot. Apologies there, a bit of an overreaction from the commentator there. I don't think there was anything malicious in that. That was just 2 players on the court, and I think it was Stephen Cummins for NUIG who just maybe got a bit tangled up with Owen Kelly, who made a really nice steal and push up the court and foul just as he was about to convert it into a 2-point basket. Referees having a discussion here as to whether there's anything more than just a regular foul. We'll see what they go with. And the foul was on number 8, Stephen Cummins, and it's just a regular blocking foul. So the words from the referee there was that there was no intention, which I think we have to give Stephen the benefit of the doubt there. I think we've most of us have seen him playing underage, and I don't think I've ever seen him pull too much of a dirty foul, so benefit of the doubt there that he was just slipping as he went to the ground. It was a fortunate foul for NUIG Maree in the end, because it stopped a certain basket from Owen Kelly, who was through, and Owen isn't happy about it, but then there's be the breaks, so Moycullen will have to try and regroup here. It's an inbound ball. Owen comes off the screen from Grant and hits it over to Kyle Cunningham, who started the game very well. He's had a long time on the bench, and hopefully he can find his rhythm again. And Grant misses an absolute bunny of a basket, and Moycullen have been caught with numbers here. Yeah, so 3 Moycullen players attack the offensive rebound. They get caught on that. NUIG get in behind, and they're the ones who are going to be going to the line for 2. So quick as that. Moycullen looked like they had a certain basket on one end, and 10 seconds of game time later, and it's Evan O'Rourke for NUIG who's going to the line for 2 instead. He misses the first. But he makes the second. Owen Kelly now, pushing the ball. And he's going to bring it back out here. Plenty of time, 14 seconds of the shot clock. Takes the ball screen from Grant, who gets the pass then at the top, and good shot from Grant, just bounces off the board and out. And another one. Grant's just left a couple of those short today. So unfortunate. He's making great moves, getting really good looks, but just can't get them to go. And the Moycullen bench are really encouraging Grant to just keep his confidence up, because those are really good moves. That's a shot he can confidently make on a regular basis. Nothing more you can do than just keep on taking them. He has drawn a foul, and it's going to be a Moycullen ball with 14 on the shot clock. Kyle Cunningham has the ball at the wing, swings it into Grant in the middle of the key, who finds his range this time and makes 2. So really good aggressive play from Grant, and it's a 2-point game. They've struggled with Lucas since he's come into the game, and that's another one for Lucas. Moycullen not doing a good job on their pick and roll defense there. No hedge off the initial screen. Lucas getting clean to the basket, but they'll try and answer with a score of their own here. Ball finds its way out to Kevin Nugent, who lines up for the 3, and it's just short. Ibrook with the crash, but well gathered in there by Kralic, who gives the ball back to Owen Rockall, who will mostly been playing just a court general role so far today. Just setting up his teammates mostly. He is a player who can score in bunches. So far today, mostly being a facilitator. On this occasion, he gets an inbound ball for NUIG from the baseline as Joe Tumman checks back in for Ivor Talon, who is going to the bench. And NUIG look straight to attack Joe, but wrong man to attack there. He stood his ground very well, excellent defense. And it's Moycullen who come the other way. Grant going strong to the basket with a really strong move to the basket. Foul looking for 3 points the old-fashioned way at the free throw line. And that still leaves us with a 2-point game as NUIG substitute their Americans again. DeAndre Jackson will be checking back in for the really impressive Jaron Lucas. And Luka Kralic will also go to the bench as Paul Freeman checks in. Ooh, and a bad miss from Grant there at the free throw line. So it's still a 2-point game. Moycullen have got close but haven't managed to actually get level yet since it's been 0-0. And a lovely little pick-up and scoop shot from Evan O'Rourke. Bit fortunate that the ball found his way to him, but he did very well when it got there. Owen Kelly now with the ball from Moycullen. Forces the ball slightly. Yeah, a forced pass in from Owen, and he knows it. You hear him saying "my bad" to the bench there. NUIG, I think, know that Grant is the danger man. Inside. And Grant getting a warning from the referee there that don't want any more back check. I think he was arguing there that it wasn't a jump ball. I think Grant had a good argument there. It didn't look like the ball had actually got tied up at any stage, but if it hadn't been tied up right there, it looked like it was about to be tied up. So either way it goes, it's now NUIG ball, and Owen Rockall at the top, who gives it to DeAndre Jackson, who's really well guarded by Owen Kelly. Cuts off the avenue there. Maree have to recycle the ball with Owen Rockall at the top. Going nowhere there, hits it back out to Evan O'Rourke, who, and it might end up, it does end up in an NUIG basket off of Paul Freeman, but if I can just say, that was absolutely spectacular defense from Owen Kelly. Stopped maybe 3 drives in a row. Doesn't get the bounce of the ball off the second opportunity, and NUIG have managed to build a 33-27 lead. Grant with a good strong move, and it just bounces out, but look at that for work rate, and that's one of the reasons he's such a fan favourite with the Moycullen crew. Just tireless work, and he gets his reward there with an offensive rebound and putback. DeAndre Jackson with a nice spin move, but who's that man again? It's Owen Kelly who meets him, but spectacular finish from DeAndre Jackson, and a sloppy turnover there from Moycullen. As NUIG look to find a bit of a rhythm here. This could be a real dagger if it goes in, but DeAndre Jackson off, and Moycullen will get a chance to just settle down a little bit. Dylan Cunningham going to come back into the fray to just maybe steady the ship a little bit on offense. And James Kinnear as well. Both players had a really good impact in the first quarter when they came in. John Cunningham obviously hoping that they can get the offense flowing a little bit again. With only a minute 55 left in the first quarter. Kevin Nugent there with some excellent minutes, and Joe Tumman will take a break. Probably won't see them again till the second half. Right now we've got Grant Olsen on the free throw line for 2. Just a little bit long. And a good second free throw from Grant. Puts the lead to 5 for NUIG. Luka Kralic now at the point guard spot for NUIG. Hits Paul Freeman at the high post, who looks to set up DeAndre Jackson. NUIG going mostly east-west on this possession. Moycullen hoping to keep it that way, but Kralic now makes his move to the basket, and a good strong move, and I think rightly draws the foul. It's going to be against Kyle Cunningham, I think, and that might be Kyle's 3rd. And John Cunningham is probably going to want to get a sub in, so Kyle can pick up his 4th right before the halftime break. He does indeed. It's going to be Josh Marversley who's going to come in for Kyle. So a good start to the game from Kyle, but foul trouble has hampered him since. But they're not punished on that occasion, at least with the first free throw. Turvidic missing the first. Makes the second. Owen Kelly dribbling the ball there, trying to get the offense set up, finds James Kinnear, who swings it to Dylan Cunningham. Dylan assesses the options And it's back out with Owen, but there's only 4 on the shot clock. He's going to make something happen, and he does very well to do so. Hits it out to Grant Olsen, and with not much going, he finds Grant on the wing for 3.
Good, Dylan. Good, Dylan.
Paul Freeman now driving to the basket, and Moycullen just fall asleep on the back end of the defence, and it's John Burke who sneaks in after all my praise for him. I think it was Owen Kelly who fell asleep on that occasion. And John Burke gets an easy 2. Dylan Cunningham hits Owen off the back screen, who eventually finds Josh Marvesley, who takes a ball screen from Grant, and Grant gets it on the roll, goes in, but he's blocked by Paul Freeman, and it's Turvovich who takes it on the break. And oh, well, that's just great hustle from Josh. He's the first to the loose ball as well. He goes up and he gets fouled. Brilliant work from Josh. Great work ethic as always. He's going to the line for 2, and it's 21 seconds left with a 5-point ball game at the moment. And just a reminder to anyone who's watching the stream who possibly can get in for the second half, we do have the Defy Sports Apparel guys here. You can get sized up with all the latest Moycullen basketball club gear and get your orders in with the guys at Defy here. They'll be here till the end of the game. We hope in a couple of weeks to have the Defy clothing online on the MoycullenBasketball.net website. It's not up and running yet, so if you do want the gear, quickly get in for the second half. But right now we're going to have a timeout from NUIG, who are going to set up their offense as we come back with 21 seconds to go in the first half. We'll see what NUIG have lined up here for the final possession, they will hope, of the first half. Ball with Owen Rockall, who picks it up around the halfway line, kicks it to DeAndre Jackson. Imagine they'll... Oh no, they get it out of his hands. I would have thought they would have kept it with Jackson, but no, it's gone to French, and they've looked for the back door for Turvovich, who gets back door on James Kinnair there, who had no help, and it's a foul and a basket and a excessively dramatic 2-point symbol from the referee. But anyways, lovely play there from NUIG coming out of the timeout. Moycullen only have 2 seconds left from either the rebound or the possession. So 3-point play for NUIG. Let's see if Moycullen can get any sort of a play here. It just goes to Josh Marvesley, who throws in a 3-quarter heave. It is off the top of the board and out. So a really entertaining first half. It's 35-41. It'll be about a 10-minute break, and you certainly don't want to go anywhere. This looks like it should be a cracker. Back with you shortly for the second half. And just a quick reminder again before we get going for the second half that the guys from Defy Sports Apparel are in the house today in NUIG Sports Arena. So if you can make it in before the end of the game, do get in. The lads will get you sized up. They've got samples of the gear here, and you can get your Moycullen Basketball Club gear ordered and ready for delivery. Well, right now we're back with the second half of the game. It's Moycullen 35, NUIG 41. Owen Kelly with the ball on the attack, takes the screen from Josh Marvesley, hands off to Grant Olsen, who takes the screen from Joe Tumman and eventually finds his way to Josh. Quick movements of the ball here. James Kinnear being introduced to the starting five for the second half by Coach Cunningham. And it's gone down to 6 seconds on the shot clock here, and Josh tries to take things into his own hands. And another rebound from James Kinnear, who finds Grant Olsen, and Grant can't get it to go on this occasion, but yet again James Kinnear nearly gets an offensive rebound. As I said, for not the strongest looking guy in the world, James Kinnear is a really effective offensive rebounder. He's got 2 already in the game. He got his hands to another one there. But Moycullen don't manage to get a basket out of it, and it is NUIG who've got a chance to expand their 6-point lead. Owen Rockall with the ball at the top. It's over to Turvidic, who's been well marshalled for most of the game by Moycullen. DeAndre Jackson now on the wing, and ball's gone into Kralic, who pivots, and that's excellent defense from Joe Tumman. Moycullen looking for an offensive foul, don't get one. Owen Rockall does really well to find Turvidic beside the ring, but it's a block shot by James Kinnear. It's Owen Kelly who's going the opposite way, kicks it out to Joe Tumman, who takes the 3, and just a little bit long from Joe, and it's NUIG Maree who come the other way with Owen Rockall in possession. Fast-paced start, but no baskets as of yet, but DeAndre Jackson sees to that with an excellent little half-reverse layup. So it's NUIG Maree who've pulled out to a 8-point lead. DeAndre Jackson looking to cross over here on Grant Olsen. Good defense, but better offense from DeAndre Jackson, who has made a number of really tough shots so far. And it's a quick 4-0 start from NUIG Maree to start the third quarter. They started the first half well, and they've started the second half just the same. Owen Kelly looking to try and change that here on the offense from Moycullen. Kicks it to Josh Marvesley, who does well to get to the basket. Good defense at the ring from John Burke, who changes it just enough, and Turvidic gets to come the other way for NUIG. Lovely little hesitation move, and he stands up. Grant Olsen gets to the basket, and it's a 6-0 run for NUIG. They've come out of the blocks firing here, looking to put a distance between them and Moycullen, and they have established a 12-point advantage. Joe Tumman swings it to Josh Marvesley, who jab steps, takes the shot, and a little bit of static offense from Moycullen, and John Cunningham's going to want to talk that over with his Moycullen team. He's called for a timeout. Let's see if Moycullen can get to it before the damage has been done too much. And a really nice layup from Owen Rockall, and a disaster of a start here for Moycullen. They find themselves all of a sudden down 35-49, and we'll be back after this quick timeout. We'll see if Moycullen can steady the ship. They start off in possession with Grant Olsen going to the point guard spot. He hits Joe Tumman on the wing, who swings it over to Josh Marvesley, back to Joe, and it's with James Kinnear on the wing. Jab step, but well defended by NUIG until they fall asleep at the back end, and it's a lovely pass from James Kinnear into Big Joe with the basket. Maybe that'll get Moycullen settled. They managed to find their form as the first half got going. They'll be hoping to do the same here in the third quarter. And good defense from Grant, gets a hand to the Owen Rockall bounce pass into the block. Ball out of bounds, it'll be NUIG with the put in. 13 seconds on the shot clock. Tervedic with a nice little jab step and drive, but eventually finds his way to John Burke, who's swallowed up by the Moycullen defence, does well to get the ball out. And nice recovery there from NUIG, and it's Luka Kralic who adds 2 to the score sheet. Joe Tumman with a strong move and hook shot, but well off with the jumper. And he picks up a foul, perhaps out of frustration. So just a reminder again, next weekend is the last weekend for the Super League season. Moycullen have home games on Saturday and Sunday, going up against Neptune and Killorglin from Cork and Kerry respectively. Both those games here in NUIG Sports Arena, Saturday and Sunday, so we hope to see you there if you couldn't make it in today. Ball now with Grant Olsen, who doesn't hesitate, takes the 3, and it's just short off the front ring. Josh Marvesley nearly gathers the rebound, but doesn't get it to go, and really worryingly for Moycullen, Owen Kelly's come up hobbling from that one. He gets back on defence to assist Grant Olsen in the post, but it's NUIG finding a cutting Tervedic for 2, and NUIG have just come out absolutely roaring. And it's 53-37. Moycullen just haven't been able to stay with NUIG so far in this third quarter, and they really don't want the game to get away from them. Now NUIG can score in bunches. They've started the third quarter red hot, and Moycullen will have to try and match that to get back into it. Kyle Cunningham bringing the ball up, hits Grant Olsen at the high post, and Grant looking for the play to develop. It does eventually over to James Kinnear, who shot fakes, drives and shoots, but misses everything on that occasion, and it bounces out of bounds, and it'll be NUIG coming the other way. Owen Rockall brings it up for the nominal visitors on the day. Paul Freeman runs a handoff with DeAndre Jackson, who goes east-west over to Tervedic, who looks to take on Josh Marvesley. Gets to the basket, steps back, and he is a real handful, Tervedic, and starting to find his rhythm now at the start of this third quarter. Nearly gets away with a steal on the pass, but it's a foul called. The NUIG bench not in agreement. Joe Tumman takes a seat. Iberk Talon in for Moycullen. Let's see if he can be the spark to get Moycullen going in what's been a really poor start to the second half for the men from Connemara. Kyle steps behind the ball screen and knocks it down. There we go. Let's see if Kyle can get going from behind the 3-point line. He's had some excellent games from deep this year, and he'll really need to get going if Moycullen are going to come back into the game. They're at 40-55, so a 15-point hole for them to dig themselves out of. And a lot of contact there as DeAndre Jackson drove to the basket. Ultimately, the referees ruled that it was unfair contact. And Moycullen team aren't happy with it, but the end result will be 2 shots for DeAndre Jackson and a second foul, I think, on Josh Marvesley. DeAndre Jackson takes the most of the opportunity given to him. He hits the first free throw, extends out the NUIG Maree lead to 16 points and to 17 with the second free throw. So it's going to be a real hole for Moycullen to pull themselves out of, but of course, local derby game, anything can happen once momentum swings. Moycullen just need to find a few baskets to recapture that momentum. Grant Olsen sure to be at the 4 if it is. It's gone out to Kyle Cunningham. He hit one just now. He hits a second one just there. A little bit of a fist bump from Kyle. He certainly hasn't given up on the game, and the Moycullen bench hasn't either. They're really trying to get behind their team and find a bit of defensive metal here, get a few stops, and maybe put together a run. It's Turvidic who's been red hot to start the third quarter. He shoots for three, it doesn't go. Josh Marvesty now grabs the rebound and pushes the fast break. He swings it out to Kyle, who drives to the basket, kicks it out to Ibrock, who shoots the three, and Kyle gets the rebound off the miss, but falling out of bounds, can't find a teammate, and it's given Owen Rockwell the chance to come the other way. Owen finds the American, DeAndre Jackson, who takes one step back, shoots the three, and goes off the front of the ring. And it's a loose ball foul against Moycullen, I think, from the missed shot from DeAndre Jackson. So it's going to be Maree ball when we come back, but it's a timeout to NUIG Maree right now, and we'll be back to you in 1 minute's time. Welcome back here, and off that loose ball foul against Ibrock Talon from Moycullen, it's going to be an NUIG Maree inbound. They're putting 14 seconds on the shot clock. Stephen Cummins, who's just checked into the game, is going to be with the inbound, and also just checked into the game is Jaron Lucas, who did serious damage for NUIG in the first half. They swing it to the sharpshooter Cummins, who puts up the three and makes it. It's always surprising that NUIG don't manage to run a bit more stuff for Stephen, I think, on the offensive end. He's taken 3 threes, made 2. One of the better shooters in the game, and we saw exactly why there. And good defense from NUIG. It's a block shot that ends up in a travel against Ibrock. So after a little run from Moycullen there and 2 3-pointers from Kyle, it's NUIG who hit a 3, get a stop on the defensive end, and are now looking to add to their advantage. Turvidic squares up James Kinnair, drives to the basket and draws a blocking foul. So after all, I just wasn't sure if it was going to be a foul shooting or driving, but they've deemed it's a foul shooting. So Lovra Turvidic will go to the line for 2. It's of course great to see these real top players coming over and playing in Ireland, and a real treat for Moycullen supporters to get to come in and watch some of the best players that are in Ireland at the moment play on their doorstep. NUIG certainly boasts some of the best imports, I think, with DeAndre Jackson and Luke and Lovey Turvidic, and a great chance for our youngsters to see some really high quality players. So long may it continue. James Kinnair in the post, and he just gets his pass out blocked, but it does make its way to Ibrock Talon, who kind of weaves around to the basket. Really looked like he was fouled going up, but no call from the referees, and NUIG come away with possession. Stephen Cummins sets it up, but he picks up the dribble a little early. John Burke does a good job freeing himself up for the outlet pass. And Jaron Lucas continues his fine form from the first half, and really smooth looking jumper. Good read, the paint was quite clogged up, so he doesn't even try that, pulls up for the 3-pointer, and Kyle with a really beautiful drive down the basket and kick to Ibrock. Kyle is having a really fantastic game so far in a losing effort. They're down by 20 points, but individually He's gone very well once he stayed out of foul trouble. Moycullen will need plenty more of that to try and recover this big deficit they find themselves in. As again the ball finds its way out to Lucas, and he has just been killing Moycullen in somewhat limited minutes. He has been player of the game without a doubt. As we go into the final 2 minutes of the first quarter, and the third quarter, and Grant Olsen answers with a 3 of his own, but Moycullen going to have to find something special. 20 points down with under 2 minutes to go in the third quarter. Wouldn't be the craziest thing I've seen in a basketball game, not by a long shot, but Moycullen will certainly need to find some form as they allow Lucas to get free again, but just enough pressure to put him off. He airballs it, and really unlucky play there. Grant Olsen was coming in from out of bounds and doesn't. Paul. John. It's just a small debate here whether the shot clock should have reset to 14 or not. If Moycullen didn't gather possession, it should have stayed at, would have been about 3 or 4 seconds left in the shot clock. It looked like Moycullen were going to regain possession, so it reset to 14, but the referees are just debating now whether it should or should not have. Did Moycullen have possession or did they not? So again, we have a small break in play. Just a reminder that if you can get in before the final whistle, the guys from Defy Sports Apparel are here to get you sized up and take an order for Moycullen basketball club gear, and of course a really special thanks to our game sponsor Electric Skyline. So yes indeed, I think the referees did manage to get that one right in the end. There wasn't clear possession for Moycullen, so the shot clock has gone back to 5 seconds. So NUIG will have to find a quick shot off the inbound play. They get it into Evan O'Rourke, who tries to force it a little bit understandably. The ball comes out to Paul Freeman, who's way off the mark with an air ball, and it goes out of bounds, and it'll be a Moycullen possession. So well worth the Moycullen bench arguing the toss on that one. Made sure the referees were aware of the rule. Got the benefit of Moycullen of a chance to ease into this 20-point NUIG lead. Jimmy Lyons with possession, finds Kevin Nugent, who's checked in on the wing. Grant Olsen at the top, swings it over to Kyle Cunningham, who's been the man with the hot stroke in the third quarter. He draws a foul off the switching Paul Freeman. And Owen Kelly, Moycullen fans will be glad to see, looks to have recovered from the knock earlier in the game, and he is coming back in. Kevin Nugent with good minutes there just to give his teammate a break. Kevin's first season at the top level of Irish basketball. One for the future for us to watch. Oh, a nice little wrinkle play from Moycullen there off the sideline ball. Nearly got an easy one for Ibrock. Doesn't manage to go. It's with Kyle in the end, who passes it into Grant Olsen, who goes up strong, draws the foul and gets the 2. Not sure how Grant managed to get that one off with the pressure he was under, but not only did he get it off, he got it to go, and he has a chance for a old-fashioned 3-point play. Moycullen have got the lead back under 20, so signs of hope with 1 minute 9 seconds left in the third. Grant misses the free throw. And Lucas has a chance to add to his personal tally. He lines it up against Kyle Cunningham, who fortunately lets him go middle, and Lucas makes no mistake. Gets 2, and he puts the lead back to 20 points. And it's an offensive foul called against Ibrock Tallinn. So it's an offensive foul for a moving screen there against Ibrock. And NUIG have a chance to expand their lead here, but Dylan Cunningham is going to be checking into the game for Moycullen. So he checks in for younger brother Kyle, who of course has the 3 fouls. Perhaps John just trying to, Coach John Cunningham there, just trying to maybe keep him out of foul trouble. Owen Kelly picks up full court, but Dylan Cunningham taking a more conservative defensive approach, picks up Stephen Cummins a little bit closer to the basket. Ball is with Paul Freeman, who spins his way down the lane and kicks it out as far as French, who kicks it right back to Paul Freeman, and that's lovely offense from NUIG. Well deserving of their 2 points. Ball with Dylan Cunningham in the wing, who takes the ball screen from Grant Olsen. Ball is swung eventually over to Owen Kelly, who has it at the top with 10 seconds left on the shot clock. He assesses his options, and the option he chooses is Grant Olsen at the guard spot, but there's a little bit of contact down on the baseline and a foul called on Evan O'Rourke for NUIG. Dylan Cunningham drawing the foul on that occasion. And Moycullen will have the ball with 20 seconds. So it's 20 seconds left on the game clock, but 14 seconds left on the shot clock. Moycullen with possession. Chance to run a set. Try to end the third quarter on a positive note and maybe mount a comeback in the final period. It's Grant with a really nice drive to the basket, finds Dylan, who gets fouled as he goes up. Doesn't get the 2 to go, but does well to get to the free throw line. And it'll be 2 free throws for Dylan with 14.8 seconds showing on the clock. And a reminder again, of course, we have 2 games next weekend, so if you're looking for a little bit of sports action on your doorstep here in Galway, we have a match on Saturday and on Sunday against Neptune from Cork and then against Killorglin from Kerry. And that will be the last game of the 2021-2022 season. Great thanks to all our supporters all year who've been in and out between different COVID restrictions and all the rest of it. We've had great support as always, much appreciated by the team. And a chance to do it again next weekend. But right now it's Grant Olsen who picks up yet another offensive rebound, gets 2 to go, and that's something positive. And we'll see if Moycullen can get a stop to finish off the quarter. Good defensive pressure, it's loose, and that is really good defense from Moycullen to finish off the quarter. They've left it with 1.2 seconds to go. It's going to be an NUIG timeout, 1.2 seconds left. We'll be back to you really shortly. Welcome back. There's 1.2 seconds left on the clock. NUIG looking to get a score to finish off the third quarter. It's French with the inbound. He finds Lucas, who's been the man with the hot hand. He manages to get a shot off. It's an air ball, nothing coming, so we will enter the final quarter 52-72. Looking for a comeback of all comebacks from Moycullen. I think it can happen. We'll be back with you in a minute's time. Welcome back for the fourth quarter here of Basketball Ireland Men's Super League Galway Derby match between NUIG and Moycullen. And it's been one-way traffic in that third quarter. NUIG with an absolutely fantastic start, well deserving of their 20-point lead at the moment. Moycullen will hope to gather some momentum and eat into the gap very early on. Owen Kelly looking to start that bit of intensity, picking up with some pressure defence, but Evan O'Rourke handles it well and finds the ball over to Oriole French, who is a nice little bullet pass down to the new man in for NUIG, which is Oisin Holland. Grant Olsen coming the other way from Moycullen, kicks it out to Joe Tumman, and Joe in rhythm takes the jumper off the ring and out, and it's Stephen Cummins coming the opposite way for NUIG. French crossover on Tumman, hits the backdoor pass to O'Rourke, and it comes out to Holland, who finds himself open, doesn't get it to go. And Joe Tumman collects the defensive rebound. A couple of nice dribbles from Joe, draws the foul. It'll be an inbound ball for Moycullen.
Let's go, Moycullen.
For anyone who's watching the game and wants to maybe donate a bit of money to Moycullen Basketball Club, of course run entirely by volunteers, you can go on to moycullenbasketball.net. There's a donate now button on the website's homepage. Any contributions more than welcome there. We provide basketball to over 450 kids on a weekly basis in basketball halls throughout Galway. Of course, we've no community centre of our own in Moycullen, yet we're still providing great service, we think, to the kids across Moycullen, ages from under 7s all the way up to senior men and women. So if you do want to contribute to that cause, you can go on to moycullenbasketball.net, click on the donate now button, and it'll be very much appreciated by the club. Right now it's Grant Olsen, who's got a turnover going the opposite way against Evan O'Rourke, gets the continuation, 2 points, and he'll go to the free throw line looking for a 3-point play. So this game, there's a gap on the scoreboard, no doubt about it, but basketball is a quick flowing game. Scores can go in hot and heavy. So I certainly wouldn't be turning off the stream anytime soon. It could well come back, particularly in a derby game where emotions can run high. Moycullen haven't given up, that's for sure. And one man who'll certainly keep going to the very end is Grant Olsen. He's at the line now for the old-fashioned 3-point play. Gets it to go. Joe Curran on the mic here in NUIG Sports Arena, trying to get the home crowd behind their team. Of course, there's plenty of supporters in from Maree mostly, who've linked up with NUIG at the moment to form this Super League team. Great to see so many Galway basketball faces around, and our good friends from the Maree club, who we've joined up with on many ventures throughout the past, and hopefully many more to come. It's Moycullen now with Joe Tumman shooting the 3, just off from Joe, but Grant Olsen battling like a real champ inside, gets it up, and then it's James Kinnair who gets the offensive rebound. Goes up for 2, he's fouled. And the foul is on 11 NUIG, that is Oriole French. And I think NUIG not happy with the way they've come out of that timeout, so they've taken a break. They're going to have a chat over, and we'll be back to you in 1 minute's time with a little bit of momentum for Moycullen. Stay tuned, we'll be back in a minute's time. Back with the action. James Kinnair going to the line for 2 free throw shots. A very animated NUIG timeout. Coach Charlie Crowley not happy with his players' efforts as they came out of that timeout a little bit flat. They've allowed a little bit of momentum to Moycullen. The lead, of course, is still 17 points. James Kinnair trying to cut that to 16. Moycullen just trying to edge back into the game if they can get it back to close to single digits. They'll have every chance coming down the stretch. Oh, here we go. 16-point ball game. Owen Rockall back into the game as a steady hand for NUIG, marked by Owen Kelly. The battles they have had through the years at all ages has been fantastic. Now up at Super League level. And it's Lucas who's been the danger man so far, but he's under pressure at the moment on the 3-point line. Turns and flings it up. That's brilliant defense from Moycullen, and Kyle Cunningham mainly comes up with the defensive rebound. It's Owen Kelly who tidies it up and finds it out to James Kinnair, and James Kinnair with the 3. And a little bit of excitement for the Moycullen bench, and NUIG perhaps regretting bringing in some of their bench guys because they're coming back with their strength now. DeAndre Jackson and Luka Kravic and Lovely Turvidic all lining up to come back in, so NUIG certainly a little bit worried coming back with their heavy hitters. First time they dipped into their bench today has not gone so well. Stephen Cummins with a good shot under pressure there, but it doesn't go. Moycullen coming the other way. It's only a 13-point game. Let's see if they can get it back to 10 in this possession. Dylan Cunningham, how he'd love to be the one who'd make it back. It goes out to Grant Olsen, who takes the 3 just off from Grant. That would have got such a great reaction from the crowd. Doesn't go. And it's NUIG who have a chance to just steady the ship a little bit here. They've got a small bit nervous maybe with the finish line in sight and that change to their lineup. It's Owen Rockall, yeah, from way downtown. Doesn't go. Dylan Cunningham does an excellent job boxing out, grabs the rebound. Owen Kelly, nice little move, carves his way to the basket. Oh, and he missed Grant Olsen, who was wide open under the basket. Tried the more difficult pass, it's a turnover, but lovely little tip out from James Kinnair. Really unfortunate that didn't work out, and the ball just happens to run its way to Jaron Lucas, who has been the man to stop all day, and he gets the 2 points. It's with James Kinnair, who has it on the low block. Nice little pivot, brings it out, and the ball is eventually swung over to Grant Olsen. Shot fake on Lucas. Grant, well defended there by Lucas, gets the ball stripped, and it's with... And Dylan thought he had the steal there on Stephen Cummins, who was coming the other way. Referee reckoned there was contact, very hard to tell from our vantage point, so I guess you have to give the referee the benefit of the doubt on that one. Certainly it was a dangerous position for Stephen Cummins. And NUIG coming with their substitutions here. They're taking Cummins out, Oriel French is coming out, and Jaron Lucas is coming out. Surprising, Lucas had been the man to stop so far, but they've gone with maybe their more reliable player throughout the season. That has been DeAndre Jackson, and certainly their main threat, Lovely Turvidic, who's back into the game, along of course with Luka Kravic, who's been a real force in the post. Balls with Oisin Holland at the top here. He gives it over to Luka Turvidic, who lines up against Josh Marmersley. Josh does an excellent job defending him. Dylan Cunningham excellent also on Kralic. It ends up in a turnover, and Owen Kelly coming the other way, driving to the basket, goes up strong. Good defense there from Turvidic, so Owen can't get it to go, and it's Rockall now for NUIG Maree. Coming up against Josh Marmersley, weaving his way around the key. Lovely move from Owen, and that's a beautiful basket. I think a lot of Galway basketball fans would like to see Owen Rockall playing a little bit more aggressive. He's a really fantastic scorer. We haven't seen it from him that much this season. He's played more of a facilitator role, but you see just there how good of a player he is and what a threat he can be offensively when he needs to do it. He does it there. Lovely weave through the lane, gets a foul and a basket, and will be going to the line for a 3-point play at a time when NUIG really needed it. That's got them back out to 58-75 and a chance to go to 18 points ahead and just steady the ship. No, he misses the free throw. Dylan Cunningham boxing out there, and he's the one who eventually comes up with the loose ball after the Owen Rockall tip. It's back with Dylan now, who trails into the 3-point shot, puts it up just off. Turvidic comes down with the ball. So the little Moycullen run there, somewhat snuffed out from NUIG as they brought back in their heavy hitters in Turvidic, Kralic and Jackson. Ball goes into Grant Olsen on the post, going up against John Burke, and it's kicked back out off the double team to Josh Marmersley, who takes the 3, no hesitation, and makes it. 14-point ball game with 4 minutes 40 left. Moycullen are on the edge of making a run. I mean, they've made it back to 14. They're within touching distance. If they can get a stop at 3, and get it back to single digits. The Jim will feel a lot different, but well, that's why they brought him back in. DeAndre Jackson, dead eye shooter, squares up Dylan Cunningham and makes a lovely 3-point shot, bringing it out to 17 points again for the students. Ball with Jimmy Lyons on the wing into Grant Olsen. 5 on the shot clock. Grant's going to have to try and make something happen here. Kicks out to Jimmy Lyons, who will definitely have to try and make something happen. Will they get it off for the shot clock? They do. Great patience from Moycullen. More patient than this commentator was. I was getting nervous, but great job by Jimmy, who found the ball. And I'm not sure what happened there, but somehow it's ended in a technical foul being called against Grant Olsen. Now, I didn't hear Grant shouting anything, but he must have said something particularly nasty to the referee, because she called a technical foul on him. Usually you get one for maybe something a bit more public shout of the referee, but anyways, there must have been something said, and it was a technical foul called on Grant Olsen. Gives NUIG a free shot, and it's a 16-point lead, and NUIG will retain possession. Of course, that goes down as a personal foul, I believe, as well against Grant, so that's something to watch. If he ends up in foul trouble, of course, we limited time left in the fourth quarter. Ball with Turvidich, who squares up against Olsen, attacks down the middle of the lane. Good help from Josh. Ball now over to Owen Rockall, who himself attacks. Pulls up on the jumper off the board, off the ring, doesn't go. Owen Kelly with a good rebound, kicks it up the wing to Jimmy Lyons, who puts it into Grant Olsen, who makes an aggressive move early on John Burke and gets the hook shot to go. Moycullen just battling away here, back to 14 to go. Really just trying to make that final run to get to within single digits, make NUIG a little bit more nervous and perhaps get a final run. Kyle Cunningham, the man who's had that hot hand from Moycullen so far, is going to check back in shortly, but right now it's Turvidich who drives smartly into the basket and finishes with a lovely left-hand layup. And brings NUIG's tally to over 80. They've been over 80 most games, whereas Moycullen have struggled to hit that mark, and that's always going to be the problem for Moycullen today. Why are they going to be able to score enough to stay with this NUIG high-powered offense? So far the answer has been no. And more baskets coming for NUIG there as Kralish just too big inside. Plucks it over the head of Josh Marvesley and puts it in for an easy 2. And 2 really tiny baskets for NUIG. Brings them out to 83 as the ball's with Jimmy Lyons from the corner. Shoots the 3 off the back ring, doesn't go. And NUIG are going to be in no rush. They are happy to keep the pace of the game slow. We've only got 2 minutes 20 left, and they know that if they don't get into a real up and down game, they should have a crucial win in the bag against their local rivals in Moycullen. Foul called down the lane. I think it's going to be against James Kinnair. It's certainly drawn by Luka Kralic. Kyle Cunningham checks back into the game, and it's Jimmy Lyons who's going to be coming out. And a change for NUIG also. Stalwart of Oranmore Maree, Clare Galway native Kenneth Hansbury coming in, and it is Luka Kralic who's the man checking out. You'd imagine Kralic's work for the day is done. NUIG likely going to save him for more important games down the stretch. John Burke has the ball on the wing now, looks to attack. Good defense from Grant Olsen, and bottles up John as he goes down the lane.
He's got a good look, fellas. He's got a good look. He's got a good look.
You can check out the exact times for the final 2 fixtures of the game on MyCullenBasketball.net. We're back next Saturday and Sunday. Weekend doubleheader to finish off what's been a really entertaining season, with games against Neptune from Cork and Killorglin from Kerry. Times for those games are on MyCullenBasketball.net. James Kinnair lines up a 3-pointer. It's too long, but it's gobbled up by Grant Olsen under the ring, who's continued to battle gamely. He puts in the reverse, and Moycullen pick up with full court defense. Josh against the smooth handles of DeAndre Jackson, and Jackson there would really like that. Is lovely play, but he doesn't get it to go. And Kenneth Hansbury just in for the final couple of minutes, gets the rebound, kicks it back out to Owen Rockall, and it's Turvidich, my apologies, who drives to the basket strong, gets fouled by Owen Kelly. It's going to be a foul against Owen Kelly. And it's going to be on the arm, 2 shots. And it's also a technical foul called against Kyle Cunningham. So NUIG are going to have 3 free throw shots, I'd imagine. Here will be 1 free throw shot for the technical call against Kyle Cunningham. Kenneth Hansberry, I think, is going to take that 1 technical free throw, and then it will be 2 free throws for the foul against Owen Kelly. I'd imagine it was Lovray Turvidich driving to the line who will get those 2. So Kenneth gets his name on the score sheet. And that's the technical free throw shot done. It's going to be 2 normal free throws now for Lovray Turvidich. We've got 1 minute 26 seconds left, and after embers of a comeback from Moycullen, NUIG, in fairness to them, have steadied the ship and look to be seeing this game out in the penultimate weekend of the Basketball Ireland Super League season before we finish with our doubleheader next week. But let's see if Moycullen can finish today's contest on a positive note. Balls into James Kinnear, who's had a very good start back to his Super League career. Swings it out to Kyle Cunningham, who's been another bright spot for Moycullen. Really excellent shooting today from Kyle. He knocks down another 3 and picks up full court against Lovray Turvidich. Ball out with Owen Kelly, out on our own rock, all apologies, and it escapes eventually to DeAndre Jackson, who puts it back to Owen Rockwell, who finds Kenneth Hansberry inside. Kenneth doesn't get it to go. Owen Rockall with Owen Kelly with the rebound, pushing it to far away, hits it to Kyle, weaves to the basket, pushes it out to his longtime teammate Josh Marvesley. We've been seeing that combination since under 9s. Both came up on the same underage team together. Great connection between the 2 players. Josh can't convert on that occasion, and it's NUIG who have a chance to find another basket. It's a foul on the so it's 5 fouls against Kyle Cunningham. He is replaced by Jimmy Lyons. Thanks again for everyone who tuned into the stream today. We're going to try and do these streams. A huge thank to Rory Gilson, who's done all the technical work and put the streams for us together. Thanks to Thomas Walsh as well, who's done the camera for us today. And a big shout out to our table officials for the day, Danielle O'Brien, Barry Kinnair and Ronan Waters, who have manned the table for us today. Commissioner Tom O'Malley at the head, keeping everyone in order. And of course, congrats as well to Tom, who was at the head of the really fantastic Bish under-19 team, who reached the under-19A schools final over the week. Came up short against Closh Aina, but a brilliant achievement by the Bish to get to the final. Congrats as well to the Calasanctious teams who won the under-16A girls and boys schools titles as well. So great embers for Moycullen or Galway basketball in the future. On this occasion in the Galway Derby, it's NUIG who are more than deserving winners, 86-70. Some great basketball on display from both teams. It's the end of our coverage for today. Massive thanks to our game sponsors, Electric Skyline, and to our ball sponsors, Defy, who are the new clothing sponsors for Moycullen Basketball Club. We'll be back next weekend with a double header, Saturday and Sunday, where we're playing against Kilorglin and Neptune, and that will be the last weekend of the Super League season. We do hope to see you then. Thanks very much for joining us.